Alright, yes. We're actually live this time. Thank goodness. Okay, hi everyone. I'm Tyler Tomaseski. This is our monthly stream for Inner Space, where we're going to show you guys some things we've been working on. I got a bunch of people talking with us today, like a bunch of people today. We got Kill, who's on work with us before. We have Alina. Say hi, Alina.
Hello there.
We also have Zephyr with us. Zephyr, do you have your mic on?
Yeah, I'm on a cell phone. But
Yeah. Still.
I just mute it after I say something.
Oh, that's cool. And then we got a bunch of people that we're actively working with right now. We got Tosh with us. That's a screen. He's making an animation. Tosh, you want to come say hi?
Yeah.
Yeah, come here, Tosh.
Yeah.
This is Tosh.
Is this for real now?
This is for real.
Yeah.
This is
Hi,
Tosh.
guys.
Hi. Welcome, Tosh. We got a bunch of new family members. We've also have Adam, who's not with us on location right now. He's this disembodied.
I have a real face, just not a real webcam.
I love your sense of humor. We got Eric with us.
Hey.
Oh, wrong Eric. Ah!
Oh, you actually moved me.
Damn it.
My stream is on.
Oh no.
You want me over there?
Oh
I can be
no.
over there.
Which camera? It's this one.
There we go.
Wait,
Wait, where'd you put the
God.
camera? There we go.
Did I lose my first name as a result of working for this company?
No, I
first
was showing you first.
Yeah.
We have other Eric Grossman.
If you actually go to that stream, it'll show you the link that it's being streamed on.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a bunch of things we can show you guys today. First thing I wanted to show you guys actually was something that.
I'm here.
Oh yeah, Steve's here too.
Oh my God. Someone else is gonna host next time, dude.
I told Steve he could host it next time. I can't I was writing code like 30 minutes ago. I'm still switching headspaces.
I forgive it.
I wanted to show everyone though something that our new friends made for us. This was actually made by Tosh and Adam. I was gonna show everyone the sleeves actually because they worked on that together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You guys collaborated. These are the sleeves. They're like these cool little like switches that you activate by flying through them. Yeah, they're cute. I love these. Oh, you know, I need to full screen the game. Oh, full screen. Oh god. Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, looking at it right now, I need to account for like different angles that they
Whoosh.
fly at.
Whoosh. So we want to use those to like activate doors and stuff. But that's just something small they worked on. Just want to show you guys something that they did. Since you know they're new friends. But yeah, I wanted to spend a lot of time today showing you guys the ice world that we've been working on for quite a while. It's had a few pretty big changes recently though, so that's one of the reasons I wanted to show it off. And then of course, oh yeah, the first thing we need to do though is that usually during these streams, all of our art people, Tosh, Eric, and Steve, make something during the stream. So the question is, what are you guys gonna make?
I think we're doing landscape concepts.
Are we doing landscape?
What
Gonna
we're gonna do?
do landscape concepts?
I'll switch over to the brush. Yeah, are we all in?
We're all in.
Yeah, I'm already doing it. You guys are slow.
All right.
Oh look, it's a regular planet that's not inside out.
This is Earth. Guys, I got it.
What you should do is just like
Regular
a
planets.
photorealistic stick figure.
What is that?
So they'll be working on that through the stream. And then, of course, anyone that's tuning in, all you guys, feel free to just talk to us. We're actually kind of doing these to talk to you guys and then just to record them so other people can watch them if they want. So feel free to pipe up and interrupt me at any time. We're definitely here to chat with.
As well as anybody in the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to track that and make sure to ask any questions that you ask there too.
Yeah. So Eric's going to be watching Eric Brody. Can you say last name?
Oh, does that mean my self-appointed role is no longer needed?
No, you can
Oh,
do
no.
it too. You can do
No,
it.
you totally can.
Teamwork, man. Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
Alina,
both of us will.
Alina's been covering us on that.
Make sure, guys, anyone else, please do ask questions because else I will ask so many questions in these streams.
Gosh. Okay, all right. So let's hop into it. I got plenty of things to show you guys in this world. If anyone's been to our booth at cons, you've definitely played this level. But we have some pretty big changes that haven't been at any of the cons, so it should be fresh to pretty much anyone. And then also let me know if the audio levels are off, because I'll be doing system audio. So over the stream. But no, dude, Elena, like, feel free to ask too many questions.
Relic title. Very interesting.
The what? Relic title. Yeah, those are that's our menu when the game's paused.
That is not an R. That is a B.
That's an R. It's an artsy R that looks like a B. Oh my goodness, that is loud. I'm turning that down.
I think
Ow.
I think you should collect relics in inner space. It'd be nice.
Collect. You mean like actually play the game?
No, no, like collect relics. You know, just like change that R to a B, just generally, just so we have our own like, terminology.
Oh, so it's just a game about Belix now.
And people can sit there and wonder what the heck that means.
It's still a little loud. So this is the ice world. I think it's been shown briefly before, but never really in detail. So I want to spend most of the stream just in this level, if that's possible, to just kind of show it off. It's a world separated by an area of sand, an area of snow, and then an area of frozen water. Let me turn this down again, though. Actually,
It's actually it's not too bad on the YouTube stream.
oh,
That's what you turn down your headphones.
Also, just a tiny bit, for my own sake. So one of the things I also wanted to show you guys was kind of actually. Oh goodness. I actually got saves working in it, and I accidentally saved that I already beat the whole level. So I'm gonna not use that save. I also want to show you guys the boss that we actually have in this world, which would be the bird god. Do we have a better name for it other than Birdo? We call it Birdo.
It's like a no. I mean, I can make up something that sounds cool and kind of pretentious, but no, I don't think we've really called it much. Anything really more than like Birdo guy,
Birdo guy.
Flacco bird.
Eric, I didn't know if you wanted to go through a spiel on that or not, or.
Yeah, I could briefly. So like, it's so Tyler called it like a boss encounter, and like kind of one of the things we want to show you guys is about how really like we shouldn't be really referring to these as boss encounters because like let's see, spiel rant. Okay, so they're internally we kind of call them like demigod encounters instead of like boss fights because like in a normal video game like the boss is like the crowning encounter of like a dungeon or like a stretch. They like are gatekeepers of progress. A lot of games have notoriously bad boss fights, and like a lot of times, you know, a good boss fight capitalizes on like the mechanics you've learned, like, you know, in Zelda, like the boss, you know, to beat the boss you have to use the hook shot that you just got in the dungeon, and like, you know, the pattern to beat the boss is like a stressful version of a pattern you've seen like earlier in the dungeon, right? So like from that perspective, you know, these are boss battles, but what we don't have is this rule that you're always fighting or like killing or like actively pursuing the demise of this creature that you encounter. So basically the idea, like we really like showing off the bird, A, because it's really pretty, and B, because it's actually a pretty good example of like how we want to approach demigod encounters, where like getting into the encounter has a lot to do with exploration and discovery, and actually playing the encounter remains this experience of sort of constant curiosity as well as like flight skill. So if you haven't seen it, it's pretty cool. But that's basically my spiel. Is that okay? Everything?
Yeah. So like the short version, and who was it that? Oh, Storm. Oh, cool.
TLDR.
Yeah, the TLDR that is pretty much that like our approach to bosses is much like kind of in a philosophical level like what good boss fights are, but our goal isn't to have combat. Like we don't want this to be like a dogfight or something where you kind of slam into it till the health bar hits 0. You know, it's like we actually want our boss fights to be an accumulation of the skills that you've learned playing this exploration game. Like a lot of the bosses I looked at are not like the final boss, but some of the like kind of mid-level bosses from like Banjo-Kazooie, where it's kind of about like jumping on platforms and doing platforming things that you did elsewhere in the game. We had a question from Storm on YouTube, which I was going to answer, which was actually how many scenes are we working with, and then how do we manage the transition between them? I'll actually just show you, if you guys know Unity. This is how many scenes we have right now that are like actually in the game. We have a lot more of them for prototyping. So we have start screen, load screen, hub world, ice world, tutorial test, Crab World, which isn't in the build right now. We're going to wind up having an additional 2 or 3, I believe, in the final game. So it should be 5, 6, 9 scenes about. As to how we like manage loading, actually, I'm just gonna kind of go do some loading if I can find the gate, and it works. So the way we do like going from planet to planet is that we inside of the editor, it's actually a little broken, but you fly into this ring, floor goes out from underneath you, these cool things come up and spin around you, whoosh 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 whoosh, sound effects. And then we're loading a load screen briefly. In the editor, it's actually broken. So, like normally there's like a little mini game you can play here, but inside of the editor it doesn't do that. But it doesn't builds, so I can't show you the cool little mini game. But yeah, so it's kind of just typical Unity level streaming. We stream in a load screen, unload the last scene, load in the new scene while you're in the load scene, and then we switch to that one. So we're not doing a lot of content streaming. So you know, you're used to like in a lot of open world RPGs where like content gets loaded in as you like explore the world. But one of the problems we ran into is that like you fly way too fast. Like you can get places way too quick for us to like stream in data from the hard drive. So we kind of don't stream in data from the hard drive. We just do hard loads, hard to like load separations between areas. And you don't do that a lot. You really don't go between scenes a lot, so you don't get.
You are
sorry,
you are still using level of detail stuff, right?
Yeah. So in the distance,
and obviously occlusion.
Yeah. So in the distance, things go to flat. They'll get LED'd out to lower resolution. We are planning on doing some form of data streaming, though. I realize that we can't just not do it. So we're planning on like having some underwater content that kind of gets loaded in once you go underwater, but that's really a technical detail we haven't started on yet. Partially because we haven't hit the performance problems that like, the only performance problem we have right now is that the load screen into this world specifically is a little long because the world's really big. But I think we're kind of planning on getting to testing pretty soon here, where we're gonna start seeing where like we need to do more optimizations with like level streaming. But like you'll see here, like as you fly towards this wall here, these little civilization pieces fade in on the wall here. You can see those coming in. So we do like a lot of the really small details do fade in, but they're not being streamed; they're just being LOD'd out and occluded, like is the right word. But also because like the shape of the world, like a lot of games you can like they can't see things really far in the distance, but you can see everything in the distance here. So like So like occlusion doesn't like not a lot of things get occluded because you have a bird's eye view of everything in the game all the time. So yeah, that's a little tough to deal with. So we actually tend to like fade things in, like the more smaller details.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting design constraint, right? Like I think it has like colored the game a little bit because, like, for example, originally we had a much bigger scene, and there were like content reasons why we shrank it, but like also partially performance, right? Because we knew that like with that size of scene, because of these problems, like we couldn't really add that much more content. So like in a way, that challenge has shaped the design, but in kind of a cool way. For example, like with hard loads, it gives us kind of a more rhythm. It kind of has like led us to accept more gamey aspects of the medium and like playing up different things as a result of not having just this like big realistic canvas to work with, right? So I think it's kind of cool. It's interesting.
My interest on just adding to the point here is when you come obviously to the optimization stage and making the games out to it's a PC game, and so many developers hate developing for PC because you have loads of different hardware specs, such as mobile platforms. Like gaming laptops still are not on par with desktop, but yeah, the stuff you're saying, optimization.
Yeah, it's a little tough because you have to account for more like hardware specs. But
What
like,
the heck was that?
so we actually we recently sent a build out to some people to try out, and we had some areas of the game that just didn't have as much stuff in it, and we like kind of got tired of people like only going there, so we kind of put a giant invisible wall in front of it with our little logo on it.
I mean, it's not really invisible though.
Sorry. It fades in it is invisible to a point.
Indivisible.
So that's your LOD technology at work then.
Kind of, yeah. Not a little bit, yeah. It's actually always trying to render it out in that case. It just kind of doesn't render it unless you get close. That's Shader Forge magic. We love Shader Forge. It's an amazing tool. We love doing custom shaders. It's just I don't think we have a single default. No, we do not have a single default shader in the entire game. Not even for UI. I don't think it's all stuff we wrote. Same for post effects actually. We have a oh my gosh, shut up. We also have a lot of post effects we wrote from scratch. Anyways, back to the Ice World though. That was a good question though. I could probably if I got really technical, I could talk about level streaming for a long time. I don't know if I want to, but I can. Oh, that's broken. Yay.
Have we got an art update for the artist and working?
Lore. So that's actually the title card sequence for another planet playing when it's not supposed to.
Yeah, I was wondering about that when I tested it. I felt like it was a little off.
I can show them what it looks like by killing myself. Yeah.
Where are you outside the map?
No, I teleported back in. This is what that was supposed to look like. It's much prettier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want you besmirching my work on live internet TV here,
No, you made a beautiful title card sequence for this world. That's my code. That's my problem, not yours. I messed that up. Blame the programmer.
By the way, the sounds for the Ice World are really nice. So, good job to our sound guy on that one.
Yeah, go for
I hadn't heard them before today, actually.
So earlier, while Eric was talking, you guys might have noticed, I kind of caught one of these guys inside of this chamber here. Chased one of them into it. So, you can see there's 1, 2, 3 parts to this little core of that. So, we want each of the bosses to kind of showcase, a different aspect of the game. In which case, this one's kind of, a chase. We kind of wanted to, test the player's ability to maneuver and follow these things. I probably make it look really easy. That's also because I've played it a lot. Oh goodness. Yeah, right as I say that I make this look easy, I run into a wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been watching Adam play this a lot, or Tosh too. It's fun to watch them hit stuff. And I obviously hit stuff too, so.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Oh goodness. We kind of want to test your ability to maneuver, chase, and navigate the space. You'll notice that I use stalls a lot to look in directions I'm not moving in and kind of make sharp turns so that I can keep up with this thing more easily. And by chasing this one in, you'll see it kind of fills up the meter a little bit more, and then the second chunk. Oh, I hit the wall. And the second chunk is now glowing. Now I've got 2 little birdies in there, so I'm gonna get 3 birdies.
Bug reports.
Bug report. Is there a bug?
Summer Howard. Oh, hello, sir. I don't know you. It's got a little pun. You could say that the Ice World sounds are ice and cool.
For the record, Eric, the shadow is working actually.
Huh?
Yeah, it's definitely under me right now.
Okay.
Somebody was telling us that our shadow wasn't working. But there's a shadow.
Bug report there.
There's a shadow. You see it? There's a little shadow below me.
Oh, well, it's diffuse light, obviously, so, diffuse shadow, whatever.
I mean, it's not it's a low resolution shadow that's there. I can crank up the resolution if that appeases you, Eric.
No, I'm saying it's diffuse.
Oh, okay. It's a very sassy screen.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we're all good friends here. I love you, Eric.
Are you chasing? I love you too. Are you chasing it? It's interesting. Because the dithering makes it a bit hard to, I guess, on the Hangouts. Oh, I see it. Oh, I like the trail render. I didn't know it before. That's
yeah,
cool.
I added that. This more.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice touch.
Yeah.
Do they have that when they're in the lantern as well?
Yeah, they do.
Yes. Oh my god.
Want to see it? I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop playing the boss fight for Eric.
Oh. Okay.
But yeah, so it was something we actually we noticed that at least I noticed with actually specifically watching Adam play. where he'd
Oh, nice.
he'd
That's
do a
cool.
yeah he'd do a really good job at like tracking the thing, and then just like hit a wall once and then lose track of the flock that he was chasing, like the little glowy orb thing he was chasing. So I've been wanting to add like a little trem render that kind of allowed you to like more accurately see where it's been recently.
That's cool. You get that magical power they have in movies to like intuit which way the villain went, like down the hall, right?
Yeah, we gotta make that.
As though I'd also
Speaking of the
hit the
trial-
wall and then keep hitting the wall.
Oh, well, that's
That might have been part of my problem. Is that I didn't stop hitting the wall.
Oh my god.
Speaking of the trails, like once you push them in, you sort of see the flame teleport.
Sorry, what?
When you go into the cutscene for the flock entering the boss chamber, you can see your own flame's trail just sort of like ping off to where the kind of teleport to.
Yeah, that would be called a bug and/or unintended behavior.
that's we didn't set like a pause point for the plane to show.
Yeah, so the what if
I think
we trigger those cutscenes right now? It's kind of just teleporting the plane. So
would you try to give the plane just like a little bit of AI so that it can like navigate itself to where the cutscene will take it to? Like
yeah,
when
I do want to do that. One of the problems I tried that once actually, and it just kind of kept running into walls. So
yeah.
not because the AI was bad, just sometimes you would trigger the cutscene right when you're in a really bad spot, and then the plane would kind of just like. Oh, so then whenever you get all three of them, you actually unlock its final form, with this super cool big explosion.
Your boss is literally Super Saiyan right there.
Yeah, it really is. It's a giant glowing bird. Yeah. So then this would be the final form of the boss. So we also wanted to do a little bit of kind of like sequencing. So it's not just like there's a boss and then you're done with the boss. In this case, we wanted to try to do like a little bit of lead-in where like there's some more dispersed exploration that like leads into a payoff where you kind of unlock the final form of the bird, the Boido. I'm gonna stop chasing it for a little bit, actually.
You're gonna give us all a.
This is a very difficult area. Try not to die. Focus. Oh no! Come on. There we go. All right, we're good. We're alive.
It's interesting if we compare this video to last month's video where we were showing off the crab.
Yeah.
Did you change the name of that one in the end? But it's because it's such a vastly different type of demigod.
Yeah,
It's how it's like just everything, like style, gameplay.
Yeah, I think it was something that Eric was touching on a little bit, or I think it was Eric. Is that like we wanted to try our best to like showcase a different like side of the game with each of the bosses. So like, and also we just want them to feel special. You know, like we don't want to make like a thing and then it feels like you're doing a mild variant of that thing, like 4 times.
I mean,
you know? Like,
yeah, in a way, it's like we don't have like the raw volume of gameplay to make like subtle variations interesting. And I mean, it's never really interesting. Like even in a game like Diablo, you know, for example. I mean, I don't know. A lot of their bosses are very similar, like angry demon dudes. But like, you know, like variety in bosses is always, you know, like if your game mechanics are properly evolving as the game progresses, like you should have different bosses as well.
Yeah, well, there's also like the I think something else about what you were saying was is that like there's also like just a really large difference to like the kind of entity that it is. Like one is a very well defined like large spatial like creature, you know, and this one's more of a like.
That's exactly what I was sort of referring to. This is the first time we've seen what you mean when you talk about how every demigod sort of feels unique. Because take Legend of Zelda with their idea of bosses, the big bads and final end bosses. Yes, they're all they also have their own mechanics of how you defeat them.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get down to it, they are a big enemy in a room.
Yeah.
Whereas,
and that's not the down talk
this one
Zelda though, because I adore the Zelda.
No,
franchise
definitely.
So much. Yeah.
But all I want to do is down talk Zelda when I wake up in the morning. Sorry.
No, I'm gushing at your game.
Yeah, I think part of it too is that like Inner Space is also like a relatively like unfamiliar game. Like even if you've played flying games before, like it doesn't really play like a lot of other flying games. That's not to say like Over is a unique gem, but like
Oh, cool. Yeah.
In a lot of ways, like we're kind of making a flying game for people that don't play flying games, but also like I mean I love talking to people that do play flying games, so they like it too, from what I can tell. So that's good.
Oh, how about this? Disclaimer: I do not work for PolyKnight Games whatsoever. This is a very unique game where you don't look like very many other games.
But yeah, and it's. I think part of it is just like one, we just wanted each of the worlds to have a very unique feel. Like we wanted when you find a new space to not be like, oh, I'm in the ice variant of this game. Like it's like we wanted the ice world to feel very different. We wanted to we wanted it to sound different. So like even like all of the plane sounds are modified for the ice world. There's not like really the only thing that stays the same in the ice world is the model for the plane. And like, but I mean the sounds are different. The boss looks and feels very different. We're trying to mechanically do something very different, which is also kind of a pain in the butt because like we can't really reuse very much code between each of the boss fights. So
Yeah.
you know, maybe it's a bad choice, but you know we're putting in the hours. And also just iterations too. I mean, like this world used to just be the bird. Like you would start off, you'd see the bird, and you could chase the bird, and then the bird died, and like that was it. And we're like, okay, like that's kind of not interesting. There's not much built in. So we're kind of also realizing that like the typical structure of a boss fight of like you walk into the arena and then it falls down from the ceiling and like let's fight, like it doesn't really like work for this game because it's an exploration game. It's about finding things and unveiling things and discovering things. And if the boss kind of just presents itself right off the bat, that's not, it's not really in the spirit of what this game's trying to be about. So kind of similar to the Crab World, like we kind of talked about. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So there's a question here from Mr. Insomniac. Sorry, I was reading that. Do environments affect plane?
Oh goodness, well, that's something we've been talking about. As of right now, no. Although, like, I mean, so like in this case, like there's no underwater, so like the diving mechanic, so like the way you maneuver this space is gonna be fairly different, but they don't necessarily have an impact on the way the plane controls. We had talked about though, and I'm glad somebody points it out because like that kind of like solidifies the fact that we should probably do something like this. Is like the idea of maybe like the wings kind of freeze up, so you have to kind of like wiggle them free, to kind of like, get the frost off of them. Or we're talking about in the fungus world, a similar thing where like fungus would goop onto you and you have to like kind of like do things that break it off of you. It'd be kind of cool if like they controlled a little different in each of the spaces.
I'd be down with that.
Yeah.
It does affect the sounds.
It does affect the sounds, so yeah, it sounds different. I mean, I guess functionally that doesn't necessarily change the way that like you literally move through the space, but like they do affect the plane in that the plane sounds different. But
Something in space too.
Yeah,
which will definitely happen. You're going to be successful enough for that to happen.
Good gosh. It's tough too because we gotta be careful. Is that like we have some backer planes we still got to make, and we want to make like variants on. We always want them to be planes that you can unlock, so we always have to be careful too that like if the planes do something different in the worlds, it can't be way too different because we have to do it for every plane, and we also want a lot of planes to feel different, not just like skins, So the answer to that might also be that like there's an unlockable plane for this world, and maybe that unlockable plane like does something special here, or has something off about it, or maybe like the plane that you can unlock here like is designed to beat this boss, so it's like a lot easier if you instead of just going for the boss, spend time in the world, get the unlockable, get the ice world plane, and then suddenly like the boss is mega easy and like so.
Well, I'm picturing a once you beat the crab boss, like previous video, the special plane for that area could go the other way through the one-way walls or something. But going back to something I saw a minute ago, you have icicles in some of the caves, or one of the caves found. Do they affect the plane in any way when you go through them?
You break them.
So it doesn't slow down the plane.
You affect them. No, as of right now, it's you trigger a little bit of slow-mo. You don't ricochet off of them. It's actually, as of right now, it's just a little bit of camera shake and they break. I think there's some particle effects in there and some other flavor. I don't know. Actually, I never thought about having these do something special to the plane. They don't play sound effects right now, which is a bit of a problem too. Very, very, very quiet bicycles. That's interesting. I don't know if you guys have any ideas, but because I'd be interested to hear what we could maybe do with stuff like this if there is like some variance on these interactions that make them more fun, you know? Because for us, it's kind of like we just want things run through, and like I'm like yeah, like
just watching you play, and I don't know what other people think, but my opinion, just going through them with a bit of slow mo and no real punishment is fun. That looks like it's fun to do.
well, so well, it may
That
not
reminded
need to
me
be.
of like the Titan AE phase where there's the ship in the
Oh
star icicles.
Sorry, I'm a Titan E fan.
It's like the ice puzzle where they're all just running around, and it's like, oh well, there's reflections everywhere.
Actually,
and
yeah.
they crash into them.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well, and I'd say that like something important you say there is that like they're not making any negative repercussions for flying through them. Sounds fun. It doesn't necessarily need to be negative. It could also be something positive. Like maybe you get a boost for flying through them. Like maybe you get like little boost in
Energy icicles.
I mean, they're literally glowing and pulsating. Like yeah, they can, yeah, they can be energy icicles. They can also explode if we wanted them to explode.
No, we're not making everything explode, Tyler. We're not that desperate.
Oh man, come on, guys.
Everything will have bloom though.
Everything will have bloom.
Would the flowers have bloom?
I mean, like if I have a say in it,
It was.
I know it was. I was gonna play it straight. It's a that game company joke.
No, it was a blooming flowers bloom. It was a flower pun. Not everything has to be about games, Tyler. Okay.
I think that,
Wait, you're telling me?
icicles
Wait,
should
you're telling me
affect the
that
plane.
like flowers are
Like they,
real?
I think the icicles they should affect the plane that every time you run into one, it certifies you're playing against bird strike. You get a little certification saying you're good for bird strike.
So you just get like well, you walk into the ice world. There's a mission like to kill 50 icicles.
They each get an icon on the map.
Oh, it's like putting those frozen chickens through the jets.
That's just that is making me think of like a very Fable like Easter egg mission or something.
I would be okay with an achievement, like you destroyed every icicle in the ice world, Steam achievement. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's the kind of stuff Steam achievements are made for. Is like, I spent a bunch of time hoping there was a secret here, but there's not a secret. But at least I got an achievement. You know?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many times I tried, like, I wonder what the game's gonna give me if I do this, and it gives me nothing, and I don't get an achievement, and I'm sad. You know?
Or you just start off with an achievement that's like, didn't destroy every icicle. And then once you do, you just don't have that achievement anymore.
I don't think you can take away achievements.
Oh.
I mean, like, we can make a fake graphical overlay that pretends like we gave you an achievement, and then we can make a fake
Some
graphical
you can
overlay.
take away achievements. I played a game that did that.
Oh wait, really?
Didn't Deadpool put a fake one at the start of his game?
Oh, yeah. I just mean like really taking away achievements though. I don't think you can actually subtract.
I as the programmer should know the answer to that, but I do not.
We could take away the achievement from the list of achievements that the game has for it. Right?
Just
First player that destroys every icicle, there's no icicle achievement anymore.
Meta. The interspace meta is just all about the icicles. So anyway, so what else do we have to cover, guys?
That's a great question. I could finish the boss. I was gonna not finish the boss though, just to
don't
not.
Don't finish the boss. That's for us to do when we play it.
Yeah, you know.
Did you discuss like the process of like transfer of energy and all, and like how that's actually a part of the boss battle, and like what it is that you're actually doing as you chase the boss?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah. Is that like something we're wanting to do in the game? Is like have a lot of the themes be about like or not like not it is like a lot of what the game is about is like about like energy. It's about like taking energy from things and then bringing it somewhere else. It's about like slaying this, not slaying. It's about like defeating this like obstacle, this like demigod, and then taking the energy from it and then actually like bringing it elsewhere, and then like what that does to where you bring it. So ideally, like one of the reasons that the bird is running from you is that like your plane is very good at absorbing energy, and although it's missing the effects for it right now, ideally like you're like sapping, draining energy from it as you're chasing it. So yeah, so like it's something we're wanting to do with the crab world. So like one of the reasons that like these bosses, at least in our like narrative, are big. Like they're not just like gods of old that like have been here for eons. Instead, it's that they're actually regular creatures that like sapped energy from like the world and like kind of like stole it, and you're kind of taking it back. So ideally, like one of the reasons that not ideally, like so the reason the bird's running from you is that you're draining energy from it, and we still need to create the effects for that. But
Inner Space 2, spoiler alert, the character from the first game is the final boss.
it pulls the data from your save. What game did that?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's a narrative in Diablo, though.
Is it like there's some game that pulled your save from the previous game and then put your old character in as a boss?
Oh, I don't know. That sounds crazy. That sounds like something Hideo Kojima would do, like a Metal Gear Solid thing. But I don't think it is.
It does. But yeah, so I mean that's kind of how we're framing a lot of things in this. It's kind of, and you know, and also there's gonna be a few instances where we're hoping to kind of play around with like it's not necessarily about killing things. Like maybe they have the energy like gathered, like kind of like a lich, I guess. Like they have all their energy like in a little bottle. You have to like go steal the bottle. But, like I mean that's not actually what happens, but like that narrative thing where like it's not always going to be about like just killing the thing or like just like you know like
Encountering the thing directly.
yeah, like none of these boss fights are really about like slamming into it until it's out of health. Like it's not. Eric, you probably have a lot to say on that, or maybe you do. I don't know. What do you probably do?
Yeah, I mean it's I don't know, like what I don't do we want to keep banging on about the bosses? I mean I guess that's what we're talking about today, right? So
oh yeah, I mean like we could always like just take more questions or even start looking at what you guys have been working on.
Well, actually, like so, like the next thing, like I was kind of thinking maybe the last thing that we could talk about, like regarding the demigods, is maybe how these philosophies are reflected in maybe some of the demigods that we have planned to work on. And as kind of a segue into that, Storm actually asks, I'll just read. So while a boss battle is a test of somebody's grasp on the game's mechanics, it seems that in this ice world, it's a test of how well you can maneuver the plane. So perhaps the ice world is more slidey, making turning more difficult. And so then maybe how that affects like how we design this one, as well as like then maybe some ideas that we have for the grab and then beyond that.
Yeah, so like okay, I see what you're saying. So like if so if this world was like our test of like your grasp on the gameplay, which would be like in this case it's maneuvering. Another one it's gonna be like other mechanics. Like we're playing with underwater and diving a lot in some of the other ones. Or like problem solving or spatial like stuff. But in this case, yeah, it's maneuvering. So maybe like the ice world changes your ability to maneuver the space. That'd be interesting. Like what comes to mind is maybe like if over time, like maybe your wings start freezing up and you have to like stall to like break out of that. So we kind of mandate that you stall more often, or maybe if you stall too much, I don't know. Yeah, I like that. Like the idea of like in the process of testing them, we're kind of slightly modifying it. So it's like even if you have a really good grasp of it, there's this like mild distinction between like the way you. I guess that could be frustrating though.
Well,
it's definitely something to think about, though.
It could be cool if like it happens pretty early on when you get in, and like because right now like there's really nothing to do once you get there except for just like go straight for the fluff. But like if there's something else kind of like in your way, like your wings are frosty.
Well,
like, yeah.
that's sorry, just the way you're describing it, almost felt like that would be well in films it'd be like it'd be a set piece. Sort of you have this one maybe linear section where you've got to get through it, but and in the mechanic requires a lot of stalling, but as you stall, your wings freeze up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be interesting. Something for Inner Space 2.
So like it's actually like power from
Huh? Yeah. I like the idea. Like, yeah.
Like it becomes easier to fly as you go because of like your wings melt.
Well, maybe worse actually, like harder.
Oh.
Like.
Well, why?
Well, just like as the boss like progresses.
Oh, because the world gets colder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah, that'd be awesome. We'd want to like we could make it snowier and snowier, right? And then like have like banners like get whatever. I'm getting myself.
The Blizzard cinematic section.
Yeah. Wait up. It's the birdo.
I've got a question which I made note of earlier before the stream started.
Oh yeah. What's up?
Okay, so yeah, people can't see it now, but when the stream started, the camera's at a different angle, and you had a bunch of different controls out, including a Steam controller. Are you going to provide a
Oh.
first-party Steam profile?
Um,
Profile?
If I don't, I love my Steam controller so much. This thing is, I love it. I love it. Yeah, we have like every controller in the office. We got a 360 controller, a PS3 controller, a PS4 controller, Xbox One. I think I said 360 already. A flight stick. I guess I could grab that, but we have a big clunky flight stick. Yeah, I think if we, I would like to like first party like support having a actually good mapping for it. If I don't, like if for some reason like I don't have the time to like or like I don't know, for some reason we don't want to sponsor that like directly, I'm definitely day one like uploading my own mapping for it on the community. So like I think regardless of whether like we are like I guess I don't know why we wouldn't. So I guess the answer is yes. But if not, I'm gonna be on the community making my own because I refuse to play games with regular other controllers anymore. I love this thing. I've been playing with Steve's Xbox One controller though, which is also very nice. He just got it. It's a shiny goldy one. But I guess that's kind of the standard of one of the problems we're running into with it actually is that camera. It has one less joystick, which is kind of a problem because our game uses like a joystick and a half. Because it has like the up, down, left, right, and then it has the rotating, and the rotating's on the other joystick, which this doesn't have. So I'm looking at doing some alternative mappings that use some of the other inputs in a way that's pretty intuitive. I was just talking to everyone before we actually started streaming about that. I guess that's a really big rant, but yes, we'll definitely be supporting Steam Controller. Because if anything, just because I love it and I want to play with it. The biggest cliff actually has been that you can't use the Steam controller mappings inside of Unity, which is very, very difficult to test then, because what you have to do is that because like it only uses the drivers correctly when it's launched through Steam. So you have to do like, I guess you can use it as like a standard like Xbox input, but if you want to like have a like mapping that's ran through Steam where it does all the fancy stuff, you actually have to make a build and then get it into Steam and then test in Steam. So there's that.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah,
So
so
virtual reality game.
yeah, it just makes iterating on it a little long. So it's something that I haven't been able to spend a lot of time on just because it's a time sink. It takes a lot of time to like get it in there, test it, how's it feel, and then like, oh, there's a bug, it didn't run at all, and then like, you have to go through the whole process again. And it's not a complaint as much as it is just that's the way it is. So like as of right now, we don't have a good mapping for it. So right now you have to just use the touchpad to do joystick things, which is miserable, and nobody should make anyone do like accurate inputs on the touchpad, So I think what's going to happen is that like I'm going to like, based on whether you're stalling or doing other things, I'm going to change what the joystick does, so that it's kind of like in the Battlefield games where like the joysticks get remapped whenever you're inside of a plane, and it has like its own control scheme. So I think I'm going to introduce that just to help make like using the Steam controller a lot more flexible.
I think what was it you saying? You were saying like when you're was it like you were talking more about the flight sticks than the controllers themselves, was it? When you stall, you end up trying to control it in a different way.
Yeah, let me I'll go grab my joystick really quick. When you guys want to talk, go for it.
So this UI,
Yeah,
this UI
sorry,
is really
Adam.
interesting.
Adam
I was
actually
talking
just
about this
fixed our mapping for this thing recently. So on a flight stick, or at least on a lot of them, you have your forward, backwards, your left, your right, and then you have like a twist where you can twist the knob, right? And so like in most flying games, left and right is your roll, which rotates the plane on like forward, and your forward and backwards tilts it up and down your pitch, and then the twist is your yaw, which like does this. But planes don't really do this; they like bank and then turn in, right? The problem is because of our game, whenever you
Planes
stall,
can yaw.
well, they can yaw, but like it's not like it's
Not
not
very
like
fast.
a super snappy input.
Yeah.
Like it's like actually a lot of flight stick people, they don't do this. They do the 2-axis, and then they get foot pedals for the yawing. Because that's the way it is in an actual plane, if I remember correctly, or at least some of them. I'm not a plane professional.
Plane professional.
A
Professional
little,
plane flyer.
I'm not a pilot. I'm not a plane. I'm not an aero engineer or whatever. I'm a software engineer. totally unrelated, but this flight stick has like a hex tool inside of it to take it apart. I love that it came with it.
To repair it mid-mission.
Yeah,
Like,
so one of the problems though is that in our game you do like do the normal thing where it's like roll and then you go up and down. But the problem is whenever you stall, you can suddenly like move in all directions really quick, which means you have to use this a lot, and it's just not very comfortable. So I think whenever you go into the stalling using the trigger, we need to make it so that this, which is normally roll, is suddenly yawing your plane. Just because it would make for our game a lot more sense, I believe. It would be a lot more comfortable to play the game that way. So I'm thinking it might also just be that instead of I might also just implement like modifiers, you know, where you can like while you're pressing this button, this gets changed. So that might also happen. But yeah, we've got all these. We're trying to make sure we cover everyone to make sure that like everyone can play the game they want to play the game. Everyone can play the game the way they want to play the game. Because like if I like flying games and I have a $200 flight stick and this cool new flying game I just bought doesn't support flight sticks, that's super lame. So
Yeah.
I mean,
And
same goes for like genuinely like if there's not a good mapping for my Steam controller, I just don't like play it a lot. Or if I can't figure out one, unless it's like keyboard and mouse, I kind of like I don't feel like getting out my PS3 controller again and like figuring out drivers for Windows 10. So like kind of like yeah, it's just like my drivers for my PS3 controller broke when I switched to Windows 10 and like so.
Oh, okay. I have a DualShock 4 with mine.
Yeah, I mean I could bring my PS4 controller in, I guess, but like
It doesn't work for Dark Souls, so that's kind of a pain.
that's the problem. That's the only game I play.
Yeah. Does the Steam controller work for Dark Souls?
Oh yes, it's amazing for Dark Souls.
Oh, and I'm gonna get a Steam controller.
Because you can use because what you can do is the problem is that you have to like take your finger off of the attack button to roll, or like off the joystick to roll into attack and what you can do is you can map the roll to the back of the controller, so that you can just roll without moving your fingers, and it's super awesome because you can just.
I might ask for your mapping if I get one. Then
just go to the community. Just go to the community. There's really good ones there.
Yeah, but which one is it?
I don't
Okay,
It'll
remember.
be the top one. It'll be the one marked.
Yeah, the top one. One of the problems with the top one is I guess it depends on which Dark Souls, but the top one tends to have two-handing on the other bumper, and I don't like doing that. I like using I like switching to my consumables with my other bumper. And
On the note of Eric, should we have a look at what the progress on your concepts are? How far you guys have got?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Wait on that. That'd be fun too.
We could not show. Let's go. Just because Steve. No, we'll wait on Steve. What's Tosh making? What you making, Tosh?
I don't know, some sort of like growth on the landscape or something like that. Like fungus covered landscape.
So it's
Stay
like
quiet.
Like bulbous landscape.
I'll repeat it back. He said he's working on a landscape with like effectively blight growing on it. Nice little fungusy pustules growing on his rock formation. I think that rock needs to get that checked out.
If you were thinking about really tough puzzles or tough things, Galaxy Quest comes to mind with the piston puzzle.
Oh my God, no.
That's very loud.
Oh, except yeah. That's an interesting discussion actually about like puzzles and obstacles in this game, because like something that we have to think about is like when we make a cool new thing, or like we're like, oh, what if the player could like fight this really tiny tunnel and like a big tunnel, there's like obstacles. Like the thing we also have to keep in mind is like, what does the fail state look like? Like for me, I really want to make fail states fun or like interesting. I really hate it in games when the fail state's just like, well, you didn't do it right, so you're just done. And so like for this game, since you're in constant motion, we can fall really easily into that trap of like, I failed and it wasn't my fault, because the plane's always moving. I mean, you can slow down and there's like certain spots that you can actually stop, which I guess we can talk about next time. But like motion and speed are actually a resource, and opportunities to like stop fully are actually valuable. But anyway, what that means is like really difficult flight situations can turn unfair really fast. So like as far as difficult puzzles or things like timing based obstacles, we have to be really careful that we don't just make things stupidly difficult. We want to keep things rewarding. We want to keep things in keeping with like kind of like the core feeling of the game, which is honestly pretty chill. But yeah, like I really do want to have more moving environments, but like since you can kind of fly anywhere, it's kind of like, well, if something's moving in the environment, like it might just hit you. And anyway, yeah. But sorry, that was a tangent.
What'd you draw?
Are you looking right now?
Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Okay, this is like a curvy, broken world. So like, I can zoom in, except nope, that's bad. Okay, I drew it small. So like, this is like the gate to get in. Okay, so this is like the most zoomed out view. It's kind of like a crater, like a broken crater world. So like, there's water underground that you can access through these potholes, and there's like this giant cavey thing that kind of opens up through this fissure here. There's like some curving stonework that has towers built onto it, and like broken towers, like piles of rubble, basically. All and then there's like this interesting ritual platform for some reason. I don't know. I just wanted to do like a cool like broken world with some like monumental landscape architecture, because like that's pretty awesome, and pretty much every world has to have it. So like I wanted to think about what we haven't really done yet. So yeah, that's what I drew.
And of course, we'll be posting all these on Twitter. We'll retweet it through. We'll probably post it on Facebook too, won't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Tosh already showed his off. He's still working though. So Steve, I'm gonna click
Steve's
on it.
gonna design a world where you're flying through a
My desktop
desktop.
open right now. I'm waiting for you to load so I can.
Are you putting it in Unity?
Yeah,
Oh goodness.
it's not gonna look like anything else out there.
All right. I didn't make anything.
Did we show the
What did you make, Brody?
or the
Sleeves. It should sleeves.
Did we show this at the beginning? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I can talk about it again.
Oh.
Hurry up, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Something I'll show really quick. Yeah. I might actually just like start a second stream really quick right after this, just to like show it. But we did a game jam recently over one of the weekends. It was the last Ludum Dare that happened. You cool if I show this, Eric?
Oh yeah, no, it's so good.
Let's see. Oh goodness. I'm pulling up on my other screen real quick. So we made a game jam this last weekend called KMF. And it's a fishing game. And we made it in 72 hours. It was me, Steve, Tosh, Adam. It was Adam's first time really getting to work with us. And then Eric did some concepts for us really early on. Chris, also our sound guy, did some sounds for us. Yeah, it's a fishing game where you can like catch a Kanye fish.
Fish.
Yeah, it's just like there's a bunch of like philosopher fish, like
Philosophish.
philosophish, falafel fish. Yeah, I might show it off really quick right after this, but I encourage you guys to go try it out. It's a simple little game, but like it's got a nice little tutorial, and you can just go chill out, sit on a little pink lake, and do some fishing. And I think we got like 21 different fish in it, or something like that, or like 16 or 16, 12, a million different fish. All fish are procedurally generated, and there's billions.
40,000 different potential fish.
No man fish.
It's no man fish. There's billions of tens of fishes.
And
can
when
see,
you're done,
you can
you can
see.
Alt F4 out because we didn't.
Yeah, if anyone plays it, there's no quit, so just Alt F4 to stop playing the game.
Also, if you do it forever, your computer will crash because assets don't get cleaned up. But that's okay because who would ever do that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
the entire
hopefully not anyone.
The entire game jam was me trying to get Adam to write worse code. Adam was really hell-bent on keeping his quality of like his standard of quality for programming.
That takes way too long.
Yeah, no.
There's no place for that in a jam.
It wasn't much of a quality standard, but it was still like too much for a game jam because you just need to make stuff work because nothing
Ship
needs to be extensible.
Just
Tyler,
ship
your
it.
code's pretty fucking ghetto though. Sometimes
Yeah, it's
in
you know,
game jams.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, game jams are atrocious. I don't know, I've been doing better. I guess that's what I wrote today.
Like I think how many singletons do we have in that game?
In
KMF.
we use singletons. We use static classes.
Well, Game Manager was a singleton. I mean, we literally inherited from the singleton that we brought in for the Fish Manager and the Game Manager.
Yeah, it was. Oh god, it was a bad. It was some really ghetto stuff, but I mean, we're moving quick. Yeah.
There,
You had
there
a
are
conning
technically
fish,
cleanup
so-
methods in there to like get rid of assets, but we never call them.
Yeah, because like whenever your goal is to like complete like gameplay tutorial, like like there's like a loop to it. It's not like a jumpy platformer. It's like it's got a fishing phase and a reeling phase and like a little mini game while you're reeling in the fish and stuff. So it's kind of like
Right.
the states, but
Wondering if Steve doesn't want us to see this prep work because this looks kind of interesting.
no, I'm showing them anyways. They're seeing it, Steve.
It's just not there yet.
They're gonna see the truth.
That looks
This looks rather intricate.
strange enough.
All right,
It's
all right, cool. Yeah, we're back in business. Oh, good.
Wow, that's pretty crazy,
Oh.
Steve.
it's making me think of Ratchet and Clank actually.
Huh.
Good. I mean, totally intentional.
No, one of the planets of Ratchet and Clank was set on like a tropical paradise. We'd have these big machines that would come out of the water.
So have you guys been like keeping up to date with your versions of Unity?
Yeah.
And has that been like improving like your limitations as far as what you can do, what you can build?
Yeah, there's been a few, especially in 5.4. They did a few nice batching updates about how like materials get batched together. I think now it's like based on shaders. I haven't super looked into it. It's been a mixed bag. Like we are up to date, so we're on Unity 5.4. 5.4 has actually been a bit of a train wreck. It's just error-wise, there's been a lot of stuff on 5.4 that just is not easy. But generally, like most of the time we just update and that's kind of it. But yeah, we updated our level streaming to the like 5 point whatever standard. It might have been 5.6 even. It was a while ago, but we finally did it. We got all of our particle system code updated to the new particle like component system where you've got like the modules that you like set in and out now. But I wouldn't say like it's made our lives a lot better because like a lot of the optimizations are in the direction of like deferred rendering and like the way that like shadows get rendered out quicker. At least generally, it's kind of in that PBR new Unity 5 direction, and like we're still in forward, so like we're not using deferred rendering. Like we don't use a lot of those things. So although their batching with materials got a little bit better, it's been mixed. It hasn't been huge improvements. I think there's been some nice quality of life stuff, but I don't think anything that like, oh, we can do that now. I don't think there's been any like big cool moments like that.
Kind of like some of the bugs though.
Oh god,
They're kind of, I don't know, somehow kind of endearing.
Yeah, and it's been weird too, just like because we've grown so much through it, and like I don't think there's a single line of code from the first year of development that's still in the game. Even a kill, like even your spline movement stuff, like that's changed rather dramatically since you worked on it. It's like your code's probably like out of like all the older code, your code is probably sustained the most, but it's also changed a lot. Like the event system got swapped out entirely. We switched to a different spline solution just because we wanted some of the different curve types, like some Bezier curves and stuff. I don't remember which ones. It might have been Catmull or I forget which ones.
I had not implemented Catmull,
Yeah,
so it's probably
I think it was Catmull. There was just some small things like we wanted to do some mesh generation using the splines. We went up switching to Curvy, which is a pretty good plugin. I don't know. I extracted out enough that if we need to switch spline systems again, we kind of could. It was fun though. Actually, I got to write. I now have like a little backlog of tools that convert your splines into other splines.
Okay.
Because we ran conversions on those instead of just like rebuilding them from scratch, which is interesting. But like most of the like we're still in the animator for like managing states, which like was like really cool, but also like kind of thinking about maybe going to Playmaker. So like I think like most of the like iterations that has changed with like us having to like start from scratch hasn't actually been because of like Unity or system updates, but instead just kind of like because we do this more, we become like better at our jobs. So like figuring out better ways to do code and like more optimal ways to approach like just like design patterns in general. I think we're on like our 5th different version of like a state machine of like how we handle that. Just because like we had a really cool one that was like based on reflection, and it like was all in one class, and it was like really optimal, and there's very little overhead. But then you realize like if you have like a 10 state machine, suddenly you have 10 states all inside of one class, and that's a really, I'm talking really technical here, but suddenly you have like a really, really muddy, just bloated class, and so, you know, switch off of that state machine, and I'm spieling, I can spiel forever. Are you done yet, Steve?
Interestingly enough, the question that was asked there about keeping up to date with Unity versions, that question's been asked in all 3 streams now.
Oh, really? Has it?
I wasn't in the other streams.
I have a terrible memory.
I get a free pass.
I've asked it in one. I think someone in YouTube asked it in the last one.
Yeah, I'll just start muscle memory answering the question right off the bat. Like, hey, I'm Tyler Tomaseski. We're on Unity 5.4. It's been okay.
Unity 5.5 is in beta.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes, you can have your possession
It
back.
should be good to go about that.
I'm on your screen.
My camera might be broken still, so I don't know.
Oh gosh, Steve's had like just this huge list of problems. It's only happening on his computer. I have no clue why, and I just because it's only on his computer. Like Eric jokes around, but I don't like fixing things until it's happening to me. Because I just don't feel the suffering that somebody else is. Maybe that makes me a bad person. I don't know.
It could be something.
And the game releases, and that same problem happens to everybody else that ever buys the game.
Well, so it's different if it's consumers and customers versus Steve.
Yeah, so basically we're saying if you're a replicant, you have no empathy. It sounds like what you're saying.
It actually sounds a bit like it might be something to do with your reggae.
Alright, cool. So my camera's a little bit broken.
Player preferences.
You're gonna have to project.
Sorry, my camera's a little bit broken, but like, there's stuff in this place. Look at all this stuff.
Look at those things.
So what I was thinking is, geez, I can't accelerate.
Tyler, you're gonna have to relay what he's saying.
He said there's stuff.
Sounds like he's trying to say like something else though.
We have got the Hangouts frame rate for this one, so that's not actually Steve's frame rate.
All right, we're gonna switch back to the muscle right now.
Oh, look at my screen. Oh,
Well, yeah,
no,
since Steve was.
like I'm doing stuff.
You know what? I'm gonna solve this in like a couple seconds here.
Steve, do you need to post GIFs online after?
No, I got it. We gotta scale everything really quick.
Let me know when you're done.
Wow! Suddenly this place is really smooth and fast and looking like the ice world.
Wow, Steve, you made this that quick?
Cool. All right. Cool. Here we go. Okay. So my camera is a little bit broken. Forgive the kind of weird camera angle-y stuff. But anyway, so what I wanted to do was kind of do like a really kind of overgrown foresty kind of thing. So no real like big core shape. Instead, it was kind of like a very like decentralized system or network of like little tunnels and tubes and things that you can kind of fly along or through and between. And I like the idea of like kind of like having instead of like tree like bulbs at the end of trunks or something, to actually have like tree bulbs be like the core elements that all of these roots and things kind of branch off of. So you can see all these yellow cores are kind of like leaves and stuff, and if I fly by them.
It reminds me of the Great Hollow from Dark Souls.
Oh yeah.
This reminded me of Maguma Jungle out of Guild Wars.
Oh yeah. That's a cool level too.
I don't remember that.
And then a last-minute guest. Say hi, Austin.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, Austin?
I just got off of work.
Well, thanks for joining us. We're wrapping up, sadly. But thank you for joining us.
Delightful.
Yeah. So I guess just final thought on this. I don't know. I like the idea of like having kind of like long, like sweeping, like corkscrew like things to like fly along and fly by. And I like the kind of interesting organic shapes that a lot of these make. So yeah, I just wanted to see what that was like to kind of fly around and through. It feels pretty neat to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's pretty cool.
Cool beans. Cool. Eric, you got anything to say? Or you want to wrap us up? Since you've been so quiet.
I think that's just about it. Okay, come over there.
Conclude us, Eric. since we've all had our moment to shine.
Yeah, no, just I'm really glad that I could finally make it this time. It's just fallen on really weird weekends for me up until now. So, well, I guess two times ago I was still working on Saturdays. So I took Saturdays off now, which is cool.
Yeah.
We're still getting used to that feeling.
That we're all full time now.
Yeah.
Which is and here on weekends.
Right.
We're like double time.
Yeah. No, thank you everybody for making it to all of these though. Like it's really cool that we see the same faces each time, that you guys haven't gotten tired of hearing us talk about it yet. It's cool. I can't hear what everybody else is saying right now.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you don't hear it. I'm sorry. No, it was quiet. I was just chuckling to myself. So thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, sure.
And if you guys have any feedback, of course.
He can't hear us, so woo! Welcome, Eric. Big party. You're missing out. The celebrations. Wine bottles.
Happy birthday. Something. Wine bottles. Something.
Pop them bottles.
Popping them bottles.
I have a question for Eric. Is that hat a playable plane?
Akil wants to know if your hat is a playable plane.
Oh, it should be. It can just play the chicken song. It can just play the chicken dance song the whole time.
It's not even just a chicken. It's a chicken hat. It's a chicken hat that's a plane.
It's specifically a chicken hat that is a plane. It could just be the legs. It just kind of like flails along as it goes.
Is that going to be your
I also
DRM?
don't normally wear this. Like I realize this is the first time, and like it's almost kind of like nobody brought up that I'm wearing the chicken hat. It's like they almost think that this is just a normal thing that I wear.
They've never seen you before.
Yeah, they're like, and so they just don't. They want to be nice and they don't want to say something.
He's one of those. He's one of those wacky hats.
Yeah, it's just it's to the point nobody said anything.
I'm gonna wear my Jedi robe.
Tyler.
No, I was at Oktoberfest yesterday, and I got a new hat because that's kind of an Oktoberfest thing for some reason, and I don't know why.
It's mid-September.
He says mid-September.
That's what I said.
I don't know why, but for some reason, that's when Dallas does their Oktoberfest. Is like second, third week of September.
That's when it is. That's when Oktoberfest is.
Eric said that's when it
That'd be
actually
great.
is.
Is it normally? Like Oktoberfest is something that I look forward to every year. Like I love it. It's one of my favorite just events to attend, and I know nothing about it. It's just a place to drink good beer and eat a ton of food.
It's a Google search away, dude.
It's always good.
Eric said just Google it.
Oh, I probably could, but it's kind of fun not knowing.
Yeah, it's like kind of the mythos of like.
Yeah, the cultural ignorance. It's much better.
Eric's calling you ignorant.
It's ironic because I typically am somebody that likes to know something about everything. And just when it comes to Oktoberfest, because it's like you don't even know why it's fun. You just literally walk around and just eat food, and like you don't do much else.
Yeah,
but it's great.
It's kind of like with me, like my own like willed ignorance into Final Fantasy, where the only Final Fantasy I've ever played is Final Fantasy 13, and I beat it. And that's it. That's all I've played of the Final Fantasy franchise.
Well, you played Crystal Chronicles.
I did play Crystal Chronicles. Yeah. A lot of people wouldn't call that like a.
No, but that's the thing. Yeah. But so like it is a major Final Fantasy to you because that's half of your Final Fantasy experience.
That's true. Yeah, it's Crystal Chronicles and Final Fantasy 13.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, Lightning is the main protagonist of every Final Fantasy game. That's a great way to end it, right?
Yeah.
No. Just one last thing.
Yeah.
Saying what you're saying about making that hat a playable plane, make that hat the DRM. If you get the pirate version, you just get a static fat hat.
So I feel like I would almost want to like give something. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I feel like I'd be giving them something special then, though. Like.
Or you just make the hat the actual DRM.
Make them
Somehow
relics that are like really hidden.
The game against pirates.
And like as we make more games, I'll feel more upset, I think, about people pirating the game. But since it's like kind of our first venture into like making like a commercial release game, like I kind of just want people to play the game. Like don't pirate the game, please, because like it's my livelihood. It's all of our livelihood. But like, I don't know. Like,
we also appreciate you playing the game. So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I'd rather you pirate the game and play it than not play it. I guess. I'd also rather you like buy it on Steam sale than buy it at regular price. And then not play it, but I'd also rather you buy it regular price because like we like need to eat.
I don't. I'm. Yeah.
Thinking about it, I think was it 1, 2, 3, 4 of us here who are in the hangout.
Yeah, dude.
I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if we bought it again. Well, like we said, maybe I would. I'd buy it for friends.
Well, no, like you guys have already bought the game at like well, actually probably wind up being a reduced cost. Actually, I guess I don't know what we're gonna land at, but I think the I don't know. The
Anyway.
price might change, but but yeah, no, and of course, like infinitely, like thank you guys for like backing our game and also just like hanging out with us and like just checking out what we've been working on. We'll be back next month, of course, and you guys can catch us on Twitter anytime. We're really easy to get a hold of, so like Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Like,
Get at us.
like we've been playing Rocket League a bunch too. If any of you guys want to play Rocket League with us, like,
A bunch.
yeah, come join us for Rocket League. Or I think we've been playing Necropolis a little bit too.
Yeah.
Necropolis is fun. So if anyone wants to play Necropolis with us, just join us. So
Oh, have you had any more fan art yet?
I don't think so. We
Yeah.
don't
No, we haven't.
no new fan art.
You had one from Summer in the last stream. But,
Well, we had one from
Did
you.
we?
Yeah, Summer. Summer.
Yeah.
I don't know if my girlfriend counts.
any,
I never got it.
any,
Oh really?
No.
Yeah, she posted it during the
Oh.
stream.
we do
Okay.
have
Well, yeah, let's-
we have one last question from Storm.
What's up, Storm?
What's the game's playtime?
I don't know.
See, I don't know. I think it really depends on like. There's kind of two lines through the game. There's like the like I collected everything, and then the like I beat the game. And like so I beat the game is gonna be a lot shorter than like actually collecting everything, but you won't really understand the story or like have any of the upgrades or unlockable planes or like any of that. As far as what the playtime is, it's tough to know because like I know how long it takes for me to beat the Ice World, but like until like I even know how long it like might take someone else to beat the Ice World, but like until like we have everything together and then we sit someone in front of it that has never played the game before, I have no clue how long the game's gonna take to play. But at the same time, we're not too worried about it. We're trying to make the game fun and then end before the game gets boring. So like it'll be as long as it needs to be. But I don't know. Like it's not hard to add more time to a game, but it's hard to add more time and it stay fun. So we're kind of just trying to write that like keep it fun and then like I guess we'll see how long that is. I don't know if you guys have another answer for that, but that's my answer. I don't know, but
It is 1 minute per 300 square feet.
One more comment to make on that.
it's
If I can, I've got one more comment to make on that.
yeah. Go for it. Come over here though, so I can hear you better.
All right, I won't be able to hear.
Yeah, I'll give you my headphones. I'll give you my headphones.
Okay, cool.
I will not listen. Well, I'll go to your
Plug.
station,
We're
I'll
talking
listen.
bad about Tyler here.
Hey. So yeah, just on like general playtime. So I think as a studio, one of the philosophies that we've had is that we're trying to make unique experiences, and we would rather make those over experiences that you've more or less played before, or maybe even safer design choices. Educated risks, basically. So for me, when it comes to like playtime, I would much rather you play a 2-hour game and have that be like an amazing 2 hours than if you played a 10-hour game and had that be kind of all right, For me, it's about providing a really unique and really valuable experience, and I think that is, that kind of transcends playtime a little bit. That being said, our game should last longer than 2 hours. Don't worry. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
Still talking bad about Tyler.
Oh my god, so much trash. You're so mean. Everyone's so mean to me. All right, cool. All right, I'm actually going to conclude it this time. And then if you guys want to keep talking and then hang out for a little bit afterwards, I'll stick around. I guess we'll all still be around for a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to conclude the stream. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And anyone that watches it afterwards, I think most people actually watch it after the fact. But thanks. We appreciate it.
Anyone's watching afterwards? Send in that fan art.
Send in that fan art, please.
Yeah, please do.
We're like I don't know, like I actually tear up a little bit when I get fan art. Like I don't know, like it
Not because it's bad.
no, not because it's garbage. Yeah, it's just so bad. No, I don't know. It just makes me happy. Also, just like anytime someone like I don't know, like every single time someone like backed our game, I'd get email on my phone, and it was like super like, until it was happening in the middle of an exam. It was a little stressful. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. I'm gonna hang up for real this time.
Love you guys.
I love all of you. You're all the best. You're all the best PolyKnights. Later, guys.